Hey, welcome to a long overdue episode of Whiskey Wednesday with me, Chad, of Chad's Beer Reviews. I meant to do this as a weekly show, but it's kind of turned into a monthly show, but I mean, at least I'm getting something out there. If it's your first time here, I do not claim to be a whiskey expert at all. I am just going through Tasting Whiskey by Lou Bryson. I'm total novice, so you're just coming along with me for the ride as I experience the world of whiskey. So last time I should say, I did a Scotch whiskey showdown, and we're going to do the same thing again this time. Both of these are Highland single malt Scotch whiskeys. So contestant number one, we have Grangestone Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, aged 12 years, 40% ABV, that'd be 80 proof. Had never heard of this until now. And contestant number two is Glen Ness Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, also 40% ABV. It does not say how long it was aged, though. So, All right. So I have both poured into my little taster glasses. I have the Glen Ness on my left and the Grangestone on the right. So, just like with beer, we will start with aroma. So we'll start with the Grangestone. Oh, wow. This has a kind of sweet, kind of bourbony kind of smell. Yeah, I get like a lot of vanilla on this one, a lot of barrel character. I mean, it is aged 12 years, so I would think like the long aging process would definitely bring out a lot of barrel character. It has like, definitely the classic, intense alcohol aroma, but I would say this one is very smooth compared to the other ones that I can remember. I would get like a little bit of kind of like honeysuckle or kind of floral notes on this one. The thing about Scotch is like it's made with peated malt or smoked peat, and I don't think I rarely smell smoke on Scotch, but I do tend to taste it. So yeah, the Grangestone is quite sweet. Let's try the Glen Ness. Have anything to do with the Loch Ness monster? Okay, so this one, the nose is much more muted than the Grangestone. I just get like a lot of flower on this one. Floral, countryside kind of aroma. Pretty strong alcohol, but I will say it's clean. It's not, burning my sinuses or anything. A little bit of like a corny smell, or kind of a just straight up grain smell. This one does not smell sweet. Like as soon as I picked up the Grangestone, I was like, oh wow, it smells sweet vanilla. This one is more floral. Just everything about the Glen Ness is less intense than the Grangestone. So far as appearance, I'm not sure how this is looking on camera, but if you look at the actual pictures here, the Glen Ness is like a little bit paler. It's kind of like a yellow, whereas the Grangestone is a lovely amber. They are both clear, I will say. And I get some nice alcohol legs on each. See, I put the whiskey stones in. That way you can chill down the whiskey without actually watering it down as if you used ice. All right, so we'll start with the Grangestone. Cheers. Always that first cough there. Yeah, pretty intense on the flavor. Oh, and a lovely sweet aftertaste. Wow, I was not expecting that. So, I'll say it tastes, pretty similar to how it smells. I would say it's much more boozy and kind of, I don't know if harsh is the word, but it's definitely got an alcohol strength to it. Yeah, so woody, definitely kind of peaty on this one. Kind of the peat smoke. I mean, it's not smoky like when you think of like Rauch beer or something like that. It's kind of like the impression or suggestion of smoke. What I said, like on the nose, I said kind of like honeysuckle or floral character. I definitely get that on the flavor. A little caramel. Yeah, I can taste that peat kind of in the background there. This is, like I said, I think I said it, it kind of smells a little bit like bourbon. It tastes a little bit like bourbon. Probably from the vanilla, the wood. Yeah, and then it has a brief kind of sweet aftertaste, and then it's just kind of a heat on the throat. I actually remember to bring some water this time. All right, let's see what the Glen Ness is about. Cheers again. Yeah, it's this. I don't know. I'm not so much of a whiskey connoisseur like Lou Bryson that I would say like it's a night and day difference. But for me, for somebody who's like still a whiskey acolyte, there's a definite difference. And it's the same thing I said on the nose. Same thing applies to the palate. It's just everything about the Glen Ness is just less intensity. There is, I will say, yeah, lovely kind of honey, almost a honeysuckle smell or taste, I should say, or just this general floral characteristic. I think there's a little bit of like a corny kind of taste in here. I would not say vanilla or toasted almonds or wood, probably because I mean it doesn't say the age on this one, so I mean it could be anywhere from like 20 minutes to a few years. It doesn't have the barrel character as the Grangestone. I will say like it's oddly smooth. I found that the Grangestone is like kind of a bit. I think like this is a bolder taste, but it's also a bolder drinking experience, whereas the Glen Ness is much smoother. Like it's not. These are both 80 proof, 40% ABV, but for some reason, this one just seems like it's less potent, smooth. I will say that, which is you would think it'd be the other way around. You think the one that would be aged for 12 years would be smoother, right? All right, so let's talk about actual mouthfeel. Back to the Grangestone. It's definitely got. I would say it's a noticeable viscosity on the Grangestone. I don't know if I would go. I'm not saying like full body and medium body. It's hard to like tell, but it's kind of like we're just comparing each other. Yeah, I would say the Grangestone is definitely noticeably a little bit more bigger in body than the Glen Ness. But like I said on the flavor, the Grangestone is also more potent, more warming, just more intense flavor on it. So the Grangestone, I would say like this one is actually, or the Glen Ness is actually a little bit easier to drink because it's a little bit lighter in body. And it's less warming. And you know what this one does, now that I'm like really paying attention to it, I think I get like a little bit of like a toasted almond on there or like a tiny little bit of vanilla. But it doesn't have that peaty character as the like the Grangestone has. But yeah, I like them for different reasons. So I mean, the Grangestone is just a more complex and robust flavor, whereas the Glen Ness is like lighter and smoother but easier to drink. So I'm not so much. I'm not a whiskey nerd or so much as of an enthusiast as I can say which one is better. But they both get a thumbs up for me. I would be curious to see. I haven't done in like any cocktails or see like which one would pair better as like an old fashioned or something like that, or Manhattan or whatever. That's we'll get to that eventually. That's probably at least a year, maybe 2 years down the road. But yeah, I got these both at Total Wine. They're fairly cheap. They're like $2 each, maybe $3. I think this was $2 and this was $3. But yeah, I like them. Maybe I'll have to do a Grangestone 12 versus Glenlivet 12 because that would be interesting. So yeah. All right, so if you watch all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching, and I will see you for the beer reviews. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.